that. So, and then also to try to just space it out a bit and give him his moment that he deserves. So,
were you surprised at the elevation at all? Because we spoke to a couple of runners already who said that it was a bit harder on the hamstrings than they thought after maybe the 40k mark.
Yeah, I mean the hills are short, both in length and height. They're hardly hills, but they're punchy when you're pushing and when you're running out of sugar and you're going through ebbs and flows of the race. Some of them hurt a lot, and I think one time I was like, "You guys are stacking stuff on top of this hill. It's bigger than the last time I came around." So there's pluses and minuses to it because it also does change things up. But I think the hills are a little punchier than I would have preferred.
Is there anything differently you could have done today to win the 100K?
Probably paced it for the 100K. I think doing something a little more sense. I was surprised to see Hideki like right behind me at 20 miles. Because I think his plan was to go out a bit slower initially, and then also so he went out a little quicker, and then Tyler went out a little slower. So it's one of those things where the gun goes off and you're not exactly sure. But I felt like I stuck to at least my initial plan and then improvised. But maybe less improvised. For the 100K, I think. Just having that perspective in mind as a whole 100K and pacing it more for that. And then maybe the next 100K I'll do, maybe not in May. So.
You seem to be a big student of the sport. Do you feel like you need one like big success on the roads to sort of be an all-time? I mean, you got a world record today, but you're talking about comrades. Do you feel like, because nobody's won Western States and comrades, right? Do you feel like
or
no one on the men's side?
Quite a few women have, and I think it's huge. I think on the men's side it's very difficult. On both sides it's really difficult. Comrades is such a big race. It's hard enough to win. It's a goal, hands down.
Are you a better downhill runner or uphill for comrades?
I don't know. I like downhills, but I feel like I can crank some good uphills. I like going to get some FKTs going uphill too. So I feel well-rounded. I think that's what makes me so dangerous on the trails. Is that I can do both really well. I'll train specifically for the year, and it's down next year. So this year is Western States, so that's my favorite because I like running in canyons. So.
But you have to give that up next year, right, to do comrades? You try to do both?
I don't know.
Or we're getting ahead of ourselves.
That's a great question. Realistically, yeah, I'd have to give up Western States, I think. But in the past, like most recent past, there's so many great ultra runners that have repeated as a Western States champion, and so I think that's an important step as well. So I could live with that, but it's not a small feat, and then got a whole crew of Flagstaff guys that would love to beat me and talk shit to me the whole next year. So we'll see.
Other than defending your title at Western, do you have any specific goals?
That's a really tough one to say. So I say you really got to wait till the week of. Right now the snow is ridiculous, but it's also really hot and it's melting quickly. Is it going to be you tell me if it's going to be a cool year or a hot year, and then I'll tell you a little more of how it might play out. And then also it's still an ultra, and sometimes the wheels fall off.
You mentioned your nutrition was really good today, very on point in every department. Can you tell us briefly what you did for the nutrition, what supplements you were taking?
I did 300, when I was on pace, it worked out to be about 300 calories an hour with about 24 ounces. Because I was picking up 12-ounce bottles with 150 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
And I was using Octane, and then I was using soft flasks, so I was making sure I was drinking the whole thing, and I'd carry it, and generally the goal was to drink it at 5 to 10 minutes, and then pretty sweet setup because we got to kind of drop it and people come and sweep it up. So that worked pretty good, and then on the far side was kind of the station where I started grabbing bottles, and that's where I just soak up. And then later in the race, both sides started dumping more water.
You sounded pleased with it earlier with the way it went and everything, so that's good.
Yeah.
What would be the number one lesson you can take from this race today?
They were still there. Good.
Be more patient still.
Yeah.
I've learned it quite a few times, so it's about time I start implementing it. You got to learn and build and improve yourself, so I need to keep working on that. Ultimately, that comes back to bite me, and that'll be a big factor, especially in a sloppy year at Western States. That'll be huge to be really patient there. I mean, Ryan Sands and everybody else just completely chewed me up in 2017 when it was sloppy. So, patience in ultra running is absolutely key. I think that's a big difference from like your track marathon background. I think it was actually Bruce Fordyce's Comrade's book where he just says there's a different mentality with it. Track and marathon really rewards like courage and aggression a bit. Ultra running's quite opposite, and cowards tend to persevere a lot better because it's just patience. And the second half actually just exponential curve of the time you can make up in the second half. And I mean, you saw how much time I lost after the 50 mile. But also had some fun with that. And,
fantastic achievement.
Yeah.
And also now you're a world record holder. I guess it gives you an edge going into races.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just see. I don't know if it technically counts as a world record. I think they call it a world best, but it is for sure an American record. So that's cool. Both are cool, and then they're really old records. That's one of the main things that really attracted me about the 50 mile distance is American record's 1980, world best by Bruce Fordyce. Like, not many guys get to poke him every now and then, so that's pretty special. And but I think I have more to work on before I could be competitive at Comrades right now. And then I was also saying before this race, I think depending on how this goes might dictate like doing the trials or not. So I think I might have made it even harder for myself to decide because it wasn't a perfect day, but it was a really good day. We'll see. I think I need to give it some time and get off the roads a little bit, and maybe I'll get a little more fire to get back on them again.
So if you'd done better, you would be more likely to do the trials, you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Because, my crazy idea is I want to solo, well, maybe not solo, but run under 2:11:30 at the trials. I'm not going to take a crack at a marathon before then, and you guys at least started the rumors that
it's got to be your debut. Come on, people are expecting this. Your marathon debut.
And it's one of those things. I don't like half-assing things. So, but I also haven't participated in the trials. So, we'll see. Yeah, a marathon. Yeah, that's the highest level of competitiveness probably in our sport right now, and even in U.S. men's running right now. You just got studs that are very hard to beat. So,
I mean, I feel like running 60 miles at 5:30 pace, even if you'd done that, you're going 5:30, it's so different than running 5 miles for 26. So
it takes different training. Takes more workouts. It takes, you gotta hop in and start doing 10K workouts. I haven't done that in a long time, so maybe the half marathon had some, and I had some glimpses of, I remember these days, but still, my track days weren't blazing fast. But at the same time, I look at, I have beaten Jared Ward once in a race, so he's definitely one of the top guys to try to get. but he's also he's been able to just keep improving. So by no means might not ever happen again.
Do you ever train with Scott Fauble?
Sometimes we'll get together for a Sunday long run, but not often. I think for the most part, what I do, it's really important to get elevation up and down. So try to incorporate that. Something like this, we were just off timing a little bit with his Boston build-up, and then also just his paces for the marathon are quite quicker than this. So again, yeah, it's very different. You got to find an efficiency for what you're racing at. So you work a little above and a little below it. And yeah, we're not quite there yet, but yeah, who knows? It'd be awesome to get with NAZ Elite a little bit to get in some workouts. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.